In the world of sports, there are rivalries, and then there's the Ashes. But even in a contest as fierce as this one, some moments just go down in infamy. Today, we are diving into the story of how England's hopes in the first Ashes test didn't just fade, they were absolutely vaporized in a collapse for the ages.
2. That's it. That's the only number you really need to know from this match. Not a player's score, but the number of days it took to get a result. A 5-day test match, one of the biggest events on the cricketing calendar, was over and done with in less than 48 hours. I mean, how does that even happen?
And you better believe the fallout was immediate and it was brutal. Former England captain Nasser Hussain, well, he nailed the mood perfectly. This wasn't just another loss on the scoreboard. This was a public humiliation, and it set the stage for an absolute firestorm of criticism back home.
Okay, so to really get your head around the scale of this thing, we need to put it into historical context. A loss this quick isn't just unusual, it's something that literally hasn't been seen in the Ashes in over 100 years. This wasn't just a defeat, it was a statistical bombshell.
You have to wind the clock all the way back to 1921 to find the last time an Ashes test ended inside 2 days. And if you're counting by balls bowled, just 847 of them, it was the shortest since the 1880s. I mean, that really puts this Perth demolition into a truly historic and, for England, a deeply devastating perspective.
So the big question is, how? How does a team that looked like they were in a commanding, maybe even a winning position, just suddenly and completely fall apart? Well, the answer lies in one absolutely disastrous session of play.
Okay, picture this. It's lunchtime on the second day. England are absolutely cruising. They've got a healthy lead of 99 runs, and here's the crucial part, 9 wickets still in the shed. They were in the driver's seat, looking to build a massive match-winning lead. The game was theirs for the taking. And then, the wheels didn't just come off, they were spectacularly blown off. Australian bowler Scott Boland just ripped through the top order. Then the veteran Mitchell Starc came in and took out the 2 biggest pillars of England's batting, Joe Root and Ben Stokes. Get this, in the space of just 40 minutes, England lost 5 wickets for a measly 23 runs. It was a complete and utter capitulation.
The swing in momentum was just staggering. I mean, let's just break it down. At lunch, England had total control of the game. By the time they sat down for tea, they were all out, having set a target that suddenly looked very, very gettable. The entire match just flipped on its head in one afternoon session.
So, with England basically leaving the door not just open, but wide open, Australia needed someone to walk through it and seize the moment. That person was Travis Head, a makeshift opener who didn't just win the game for Australia, he completely dismantled what little hope England had left.
123. That was his score, and it came from just 83 balls. This wasn't some careful, nervous chase. No, this was an all-out assault. Head took what could have been a tricky target and just blasted it into oblivion with some of the most breathtaking power hitting you'll ever see.
You know you've done something pretty special when the opposing captain describes your performance like this. England's own Ben Stokes said Head was going like a train, and he was right. There was simply no stopping him. It was a phenomenal, match-winning performance.
Now, a loss like this is never just about one bad session, right? It immediately sparked a much bigger debate. It put England's entire philosophy, their whole aggressive approach to playing Test cricket, directly under the microscope.
So, for anyone who might not be familiar with it, this philosophy is known as baseball. At its core, it's an aggressive, high-risk, high-reward style of play. The whole idea is to constantly attack, to always put pressure on the other team. But, after a collapse like this one, people started asking a very simple question: is the risk really worth the reward?
And the critics came out swinging. Former captain Michael Vaughan did not hold back at all. He called the team's decision to skip a practice match before the next test amateurish. He was really questioning their whole preparation, their whole attitude, basically suggesting they were being arrogant.
But on the other side, well, the current team leadership was having none of it. Captain Ben Stokes was totally defiant. He insisted they would not change their approach one bit. He basically doubled down and said, "We trust our process, win or lose." And that just set up this fascinating clash of ideas right at the heart of English cricket.
So this really gets to the core of the debate, doesn't it? Is baseball this brilliant and brave approach that's breathing new life into the sport? Or is it reckless, leading to these fragile batting lineups and, well, gutless collapses? Some in the media even branded it an affront to Test cricket. It's a debate that really goes to the soul of how the game should be played.
All right, let's just zoom out for a second. Because to really understand the weight of this defeat and why it hurts so much for England fans, you have to ask yourself, have we seen this movie before? Is this just part of a deeply troubling pattern for England whenever they tour Australia?
When you look at the recent history for England down under, well, it's abysmal, and that's putting it mildly. A 5-0 whitewash followed by not one, but two 4-0 thrashings in a row. This context is absolutely crucial. The fear for every England fan is that this two-day loss isn't some freak event. It's just the first terrible step in another demoralizing tour.
And all of this leaves us with one big, haunting question. For all the talk of a new philosophy, a new, confident approach, are this England team simply destined to suffer the exact same fate as all the teams that came before them? It's a thought that's going to hang over every single ball of this series.